A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, protests in Los Angeles have escalated for a third consecutive day, leading to significant unrest and violence as demonstrators express their opposition to the Trump administration's immigration policies. The protests, which began peacefully, have seen participants vandalizing police vehicles and engaging in confrontations with law enforcement. The situation intensified over the weekend when President Donald Trump ordered the deployment of the National Guard to the city, a move that has sparked fierce criticism from local officials and editorial boards alike. The New York Times editorial board weighed in on the situation, labeling the deployment of troops as the real emergency amidst the protests. They argued that the National Guard is typically reserved for natural disasters or public health crises, and questioned the necessity of their presence in Los Angeles, where local law enforcement had managed to control the protests for the most part. As tensions flared, reports emerged of vandalism and assaults against police officers, with one suspect allegedly throwing rocks at law enforcement vehicles, injuring a federal officer in the process. The FBI is currently on the lookout for this individual, underscoring the seriousness of the situation. California Governor Gavin Newsom has also voiced his disapproval of Trump's decision to send in the National Guard, asserting that local law enforcement did not require assistance. In a social media post, Newsom outlined a series of points that he believes illustrate the chaos created by the president's actions, stating, "Trump succeeded in manufacturing chaos and violence." The Los Angeles Police Department declared an unlawful assembly as protesters failed to disperse from downtown areas, further complicating the situation. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell condemned the violence against law enforcement as disgusting, reflecting the frustration felt by many in the local police force. Critics of the president's actions argue that deploying the National Guard only exacerbates an already volatile situation, and that it sends a message of overreach and aggression rather than law and order. The New York Times editorial board emphasized that the military should be used cautiously within the United States, warning against the legal and ethical implications of such actions in response to civil unrest. As the protests continue, the political landscape surrounding immigration policy and law enforcement practices is becoming increasingly contentious. The deployment of troops has not only drawn attention to the protests but has also reignited debates about the appropriate use of military force in domestic affairs. The situation remains fluid, with both local and federal authorities navigating the complexities of public safety and civil rights in the face of widespread dissent. In related developments, prominent figures, including Senator Cory Booker, have weighed in, labeling the protests as peaceful and criticizing the Trump administration for its heavy-handed approach. The involvement of military personnel in civilian protest raises significant questions about the future of civil liberties and the role of government in addressing public discontent. As the nation watches closely, the events unfolding in Los Angeles could have far-reaching implications for immigration policy, law enforcement practices, and the relationship between state and federal authorities. The ongoing protests serve as a stark reminder of the divisions within American society and the urgent need for dialogue and reform in the face of systemic issues surrounding immigration and community relations. In conclusion, the situation in Los Angeles remains tense and unpredictable, with the potential for further escalation as protests continue. The deployment of the National Guard, while intended to restore order, has instead ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate, highlighting the complexities of governance in a divided nation. As events unfold, it is clear that the impacts of these protests will resonate far beyond the streets of Los Angeles, shaping the discourse on immigration and civil rights for years to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.